Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. Welcome to our Islamic Organization program on the Do TV screen. Al-Rashid Center and their esteemed officials are joining us today toward encouraging, understanding, and promoting unity within the Muslim community. We believe it's important to hear from those who are working tirelessly to serve and uplift our community. Meet our distinguished guests and meet their vision for a brighter future for all Muslims. I'm honored to have three honorable guests from Al-Rashid Center. I had the pleasure to be in person at the Al-Rashid Mosque and the Canadian Islamic Center last year, alhamdulillah, and I was honored to meet Sheikh Jamal Talib in person. So welcome Sheikh Jamal, and welcome Brother Najib and Sister Salma.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. So thank you for being here. Sheikh Jamal, Muslims in non-Muslim countries are facing many challenges. What are the biggest challenges they face from your point of view?
Alhamdulillah wa salatu wa salamu ala Rasulillah. First of all, I want to thank MuslimDo for inviting us to be in this important gathering to talk about the challenges that facing us, and also to say Ramadan Mubarak to everyone that was hearing us in this blessed month. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept from all of us our fast and our prayer, our dua, inshallah, to bring us closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in this blessed month. This is very important question. Brother Ahmed is talking about the challenges facing Muslims in the West. And as you know, the most important challenge that we face it is to keep our identity as a Muslim in the new area that we come to, in the new land that we choose to live in. And to keep our identity, to keep our culture, to keep our religion, our faith, our principles surely is not an easy goal. And therefore we can see the Al-Rashid Mosque with other organizations in the West working very hard is to really establishing programs and schools and activities is to really connect our community members to our organizations and to our mosques, and to keep their identity as Muslims, and to let them feel that they're secure in the country that they're living in. It does not mean when I change my place of living from a place to place, that means I'm gonna sell my principle or sell my religion. So I really need to be hooked to my community, to my mosque, to my school, is to really keep this connection between myself and between those organizations, inshallah, to keep myself a strong believer and a strong Muslim. And therefore I can see this challenge. It can be cooled down when we do really care about the building more institutions to serve our community and to serve the youth and also the senior as well in our community, inshallah.
MashaAllah, Jazakumullah khair. Brother Najib, do Islamic organizations have a role in overcoming these challenges?
Assalamu alaikum.
I
certainly agree with what Imam Jamal said in terms of the challenges that we face. And I can tell you that the Al-Rashid Mosque plays an active role in addressing the challenges through a number of avenues. Here at the Al-Rashid Mosque, we promote interfaith dialogue in order to build positive relationships with our non-Muslim communities and to promote understanding and respect between the different faiths. At the Al-Rashid Mosque, we also offer a whole range of community services, including mental and physical health services, social services, and very important educational support to help meet the needs of our Muslim community here. The Al-Rashid Mosque is also very active in combating Islamophobia. by working to raise awareness within our community. We promote tolerance, we promote understanding, and we especially collaborate with other groups to advocate for policies that will support the Muslim community. The Al-Rashid Mosque is also very active in supporting integration by providing support and resources to help Muslim immigrants integrate into the Canadian society, including we provide language classes, we provide cultural orientation. Overall, the Al-Rashid Mosque is an important partner in overcoming the challenges that are facing our Muslim community by providing the much needed support and advocating for the rights of Muslims and by promoting interfaith understanding and dialogue. Alhamdulillah.
MashaAllah, Jazakumullah khair. Honestly, the only thing that make me consider moving to your area when I came and visited, it was only the masjid. And what I felt when I was there, everyone who I met, it felt like family, subhanAllah. So Jazakumullah khair for everything you're doing.
Alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah. Sister Salma, women always have an important role in Islam. What about the role in Islamic organizations and leadership positions?
Yes, I totally agree with you. They have a very big role. They've always had a big role, right from the beginning of the first mosque that was built here in Edmonton. We have our pioneer sisters, 3 of them, and they left a very big legacy and role models for all of our sisters, whether they're mothers, they're students, or grandmothers. And I don't know if you want a little touch up on these ladies' stories and how encouraging and dynamic they really were in the development of the mosque itself. I can start off with, to begin with Sister Hedwi Hamdian. Hedwi Hamdian was the first pioneer. He came in the early 1920s as a young bride. And they lived in such a remote area here in Alberta, Port Chipewyan. And there it was just more or less a fur trading post area. And that's where they developed their, they had started their family and they developed a good fur trading post. And the wife, Helwi, once the children started to grow, she saw the need of her family getting a better education than the small area she was in. So she moved to Edmonton with her young family and her husband. They left the business there and they came down and they started pulling new immigrants, especially the Muslim immigrants and the people from the Lebanese area, because that's where they had come from. And they started bringing them in. It's almost like they became family. They opened up their homes, they helped them settle, and they also helped them find jobs. And as the community grew, the needs started to grow. At first, they were just visiting each other in different homes. Once they settled, they started going, visiting one house at a time. And then they became a bigger group. And Hedwi realized, there were more needs that had to be addressed. And the needs were where the children needed, Muslim education, where they wanted to gather, they wanted to socialize, they wanted the spiritual aspect. And then they realized, well, maybe the mosque could accommodate all this. And they didn't have a mosque. And people were praying in their homes. So they started rallying for a mosque. And Hedwi was such a dynamic person. She was She had a lot of enthusiasm. I'm sorry. She was a visionary, and she had a great leadership qualities. So she gathered the Muslim ladies, and they started going and rallying for land to build a mosque on. They met with the mayor, and they were offered land, and now they have to produce money to build this mosque on this land. And they started off with doing tea parties. They started off going from place to place and asking for donations. They even hit the different faith areas, like the Jewish people, the Christians, anybody that would offer some money. And the downtown business people, they hit them and they got donations. And the ladies started baking and cooking their food and inviting people to come to their banquets and their tea parties. And that was another thing, like, aside from the leadership, she actually created a taste for the Middle Eastern cuisine. People started to like the food, they were buying it, and they started to build the mosque. And the mosque was built in 1938, or it opened its doors in 1938. And she also created this unity where the Muslims got together, but they wanted more. They wanted to be able to offer not just for the Muslims, but for other people. So they created the first Muslim Ladies Association, I believe it was called. And they had that. Once they got that, they were able to do funds, collect funds for their purpose. And the purpose was actually for the Muslims. But then they also started getting more money, more funds, and they were able to send supplies out to the war victims during World War II.
MashaAllah.